Hey, what does the tip of the iceberg have to do with supersizing and growing your business? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, also known as Pajama Grandma. I want to chat just for a minute or two and open my mind up, and hopefully yours as well, to thinking about the big picture. Oftentimes, and whenever we want to achieve something big or a new goal, or maybe it's not new, but it's something that we want to expand upon, like growing our business. Maybe we've been in business for a while, and we want to grow and supersize our business. Or maybe we're just starting out and we want to grow and supersize and scale our business, or the business that we're just starting. This is a really popular 20th century metaphor. And if you've been on social media at all, and you're probably on social media if you're listening to me or seeing me right now, you've seen one of the graphic representations of an iceberg. Of course, an iceberg is just a piece of a glacier that's broken off, and it floats in the water. And as it floats, like anything that floats, often it bobs on the top of the surface, and we only see a tiny portion of that thing that's in the water, right? Floating in the water. Think of yourself. When you're floating in the water, your head's probably sticking out, but that's only 10% of you. The other 90% of you, your whole body is underwater, and people can't see it, right? It's the same thing with an iceberg. There's 10% of that iceberg above the water. Titanic wishes they probably would have thought about that when they were out there sailing around the seas, right? But the 90% under it, the bigger portion, the big picture that we don't see, the things that are definitely going to impact us and challenge us, are hidden to us. They're unseen, and they're often unknowable. Even if we have a great plan and a great blueprint, and we've spent, so much time and energy creating this massive business plan, chances are, if you've ever created a business plan, then you'll know what I'm talking about. You end up throwing that business plan out of the window, because as soon as you start implementing the plan, things happen. The environment changes, the competition changes, the business changes, the technology changes. All of these things that you cannot possibly anticipate happen. The weather changes every day, right? Sometimes that impacts our businesses, and we can't figure that out. It's unknowable. We have to be able to deal with that situation or circumstance or challenge or obstacle, or good things, because guess what? Good things happen in our businesses all the time too. It just seems like we only ever talk about the obstacles or the challenges. But if we actually looked at it, more good things happen in our life than bad things. More good things happen in our businesses than bad things. We just tally up and count the bad things in our world and in our culture, and we focus on the negative. I don't know why that is, but it is. It's just inherent in the human condition for some reason. Maybe it's because we like to compare ourselves to others, and we feel like we're doing better than other people if less bad things happen to us. I don't know. I don't understand all the human psyche that well, but I do know that as much as we try to plan, and I used to be a huge planner, I would have my to-do lists and my plans and my detailed plans and charts and all of these graphics and things, and I would spend time and energy and weeks and sometimes months and years planning these things, only to find out that as soon as you take a step to implement the plan, everything changes, and it makes it unknowable. So we have to be comfortable with taking action and knowing that we'll figure it out along the way, taking the next step toward the big goal of what we want, and knowing that we'll figure it out along the way. Think of learning to ride a bike. When I learned to ride a bike, I must have fallen down 100 times at least before I could balance and learn to ride a bike. Now, I knew I wanted to learn to ride a bike because how I thought it would make me feel. I thought it would give me freedom and mobility, and I could get around faster because I had short little legs. I was short, I was a little kid, and so I was small, and so to keep up with the neighbors and the other kids that I wanted to play with, I thought, well, riding a bike would be one way to keep up with them. And so I had all this belief about why I wanted to ride this bike and why I wanted to learn. But if I had known that I'd have to fall down and hurt myself and skin my knee and bleed 100 times before I figured it out, would I have done it? You know what? Probably not. And that's probably why most people don't go after their dreams and goals, because they're afraid of the 90% that they don't see. But it's the same as when we learn how to walk. We fall down hundreds or thousands of times before we actually learn how to walk. Well, we still learn how to walk because it's so worth it, right? The outcome, the result is so worth it. It's the same with our businesses. It's the same with anything that we want in life. Our relationships, good relationships take work. If we knew everything it was going to take to have a successful relationship when we first fell in love or we first started that relationship, we probably would say, no, it's not worth it, I'm not going to do it. But once you've had that and you feel the feelings that are associated with that, you can't imagine not having done it. It's the same with growing our businesses. We can see and we can plan for maybe 10% of what's going to happen, but most of what's going to happen in order to grow and scale and build our businesses, build anything of importance in our lives, is unseeable and unknowable. And we just have to step out and trust ourselves and have faith that we'll figure it out. If I take that next step toward what I want, before I know it, the step after that appears, and then the step after that, and the step after that, and the step after that. And I'm reaching my milestones to get to the big goal that I want faster than I ever could have imagined possible. If I thought I had to wait and plan it all out and figure it all out and know it all, it's not going to happen, because I will never take the steps I need to take to make the thing I want to happen in my life. So know that most of what we need to do in our lives is unknowable, and we just have to step forward and trust ourselves that we'll figure it out. And we actually always do. We always figure it out. We always know what to do, even if we don't think we know what to do. How often do you catch yourself saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know what I want? We actually totally do. We just don't necessarily want to admit it to ourselves or admit it to other people. And mostly we don't want to admit things to other people. You know, we all want to build these huge successful businesses, but we're afraid to tell other people, I want to build a business that changes the world. How many people say that out loud? Not very many people. A very small minority of people have the confidence and the guts and the willingness to say that out loud and then take the steps each and every day to move toward that. And know that you're not going to know all the answers when you start, but you just have to start. And the starting is the most important part. That's it. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Go out and make it a fantastic day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye. Step out in faith. You got this.